From Ben Light Gymnasium on the campus of Ithaca College, it's Bombers women's basketball on Bomber Sports as the Herons of William Smith College visit the South Hill to round out the weekend of Liberty League action. Eli Fishman alongside Cam Manna bringing you the action. The Bombers enter today 8-2 with 4 straight victories, coming off a 70-43 28-point win over Union last night. They'll see a Herons squad today looking to get back on track with 3 straight losses. And this Ithaca team looking to build off what's been more than a strong start to the season.
And we talked about that first game of the Liberty League slate against Vassar for Ithaca and that first loss to begin. Since then, they've looked like a different team. They've battled some injuries. They've battled different parts of rotations and starting lineups. But what they showed yesterday against Union, top to bottom, we saw 9 different scores for the Bombers coming together, and led by Cameron Coffey with 12 points. We saw multiple players in double figures. So that was a win yesterday, Eli, for this group that they showed their depth. There's not many teams in the Liberty League, maybe none, that can go as deep as the Bombers did last night.
We saw every single player on the Bombers' active roster coming into the game yesterday, making an impact in one way or another. And a big story of the past few weeks has been the depth, has been the underclassmen that have shined. Elizabeth Maka has been a big one that we've talked about. A couple of freshmen, including Tori Drevna as well, coming in and making an impact. Annabelle Iorio and Anya Watkins have both gotten the chance to start and have showed up. And it's going to be the usual starting 5, no Zoraida Iqbal-Seta. So it's Anya Watkins, Annabelle Iorio, Cameron Coffey, Hannah Polche, and June Dixon for the Bombers on the left side of the court, and the all-white unis on the right side for William Smith. They'll bring out their starting 5 for the last few games. That's Ava Lobozo, Molly Walsh, Maddie Patrick, Brooke Jarvis, who's the leading scorer in the Liberty League, and Miranda Martin. It's going to be Iorio to go up one-on-one with Jarvis, and winning the battle will be William Smith to start it off, as Lobozo will take it from inside their own territory. William Smith 1-10 on the year, 1-2 in Liberty League play with their sole win coming against RPI a couple of weeks ago. Starting with the possession, looking to get on the board here. And for what both teams is their 4th Liberty League game of the season, falling short the basket there from Jarvis, the leader of this team. Here's Polche, down low, Watkins, kick out to the near side corner. Iorio goes towards the basket off the front iron, gets her own rebound, second chance points. Iorio's fouled, and she'll look to give the Bombers their first points of the afternoon.
And you'll see right there early on in this game what you're going to see from this Herons squad. And that 3-point shot from Brooke Jarvis, the scorer on this team, takes a lot of shots, a lot of that volume, and the Bombers working very quickly in transition.
Iorio, the junior, can't connect on the first from the foul stripe, but working her way into the starting 5 this season and has done a very good job of doing so. On the board are the Bombers, as Iorio connects on the second from the foul stripe. She's got 6 games with double digits on the season, including a big game yesterday in the win over Union. William Smith almost loses possession with Iorio in coverage. How about a floater from just inside the perimeter? Sinks it. That's Miranda Martin. She's been hot with 16 points last night against RIT. A game that William Smith lost by 2 points, 77-75, in a close one against one of the top teams in RIT. How about a bucket for Cameron Coffey? The 3 straight away from way downtown. And Bombers on top 4-2. The 3 ball has worked very much in their favor over the last few games. A big one yesterday in terms of the abilities from beyond the perimeter. Aaron pass goes out of bounds into the Bomber bench. We saw Cameron Coffey with a couple from deep. Even Tori Drevna getting on the action. Jillian Payne, a whole lot of different players from beyond the arc where Ithaca's had a lot of success this season.
She's so lethal, Coffey, and 41% from 3, and her ability to spot up at any given spot, come off an off-ball screen, and get that nice pass from the wing from Iorio. That's where the Bombers can work so well.
Polche trying to get across midcourt against Lobozo. Inside the lane, that's Watkins, ball on the ground, bodies hit the ground now. Iorio to the top of the key, stutter steps, looks for somewhere to go, looks for a lane, all the way towards the baseline on the right side. Anna Dixon. Dixon, the grad student, Division I transfer, 5 on the shot clock. How about Iorio? Stutter step, goes for the drive, and she'll be fouled. Or rather, the buzzer will sound just before a foul, and the shot clock violation will give it back to William Smith.
Great defense there from the Herons so far, and their ability down low. Having Martin and having Jarvis, tall players that can be able to neutralize Watkins and Ioria, where the Bombers showed that that's a big part of their game lately.
Martin at the top of the key. Now to the near side and Walsh and around the perimeter back to Labozo. At the elbow, stutter stepping, driving. Now the floater, no good from Brooke Jarvis. Getting the rebound and a beauty with the finger roll down low. Ava Labozo. We're all tied 4-4, 7:30 left to go here in the first quarter. Exchanging punches early. Ithaca looking to pull away. Dixon down the baseline on the near side. Back towards the elbow on the top of the key. Kick out Coffey. Three from the top. Back iron, no good. William Smith on the rebound down low. And on the near sideline across midcourt, Walsh. Wide open from just inside the perimeter. That's short. On the shot coming off there from Maddie Patrick. Coming off another strong game against Union.
And so far for this William Smith team, what we're seeing is, the Bombers want to try to run in transition. The William Smith offense, they're being able to score with ease. And when the Bombers have had a chance to move in transition, what Union did not do yesterday is what William Smith is doing, clearing the paint, getting back on defense.
Here's Iorio with a paint one-on-one. Trying to go up with the body, unsuccessful. And the takeaway again. Pretty much blocked before she could even get the shot off. Here's Walsh. Towards the corner. Three attempt, Labozo long. And off the right iron, it's going to stay. No official word yet. Did Coffey get her finger on it before it went out of bounds? Yes, she did. So it's going to stay William Smith ball. Be inbounded underneath the basket by Walsh. Been tied 4-4 for almost 90 seconds now. The inbounded pass goes to the corner and Martin, but she dribbles it out of bounds, and it's going to be Ithaca taking over. And June Dixon, we're going to see our first substitution of the game. Mara Bledsoe, who had a strong game last night with 9 points, checking in for the Herons. Down low, pass to Coffey, batted away. That's Miranda Martin. She's been strong on defense all year. Takes advantage of the errant pass. How about the floater from just inside? No good. And Ithaca gets the rebound. Jarvis with the attempted shot. Leading scorer in the conference is 0 for 2 from the floor. How about Coffey from three? Splash. Cameron Coffey, 2 for 2 from beyond the arc. Bombers on top 7-4.
You can't leave Coffey open like that, and you have to be able to close out on the shooter. Coffey's going to set up and find her way. Can't let her get hot.
Now to the top of the key. Martin down low, pass batted away. Polche with it in transition, near side. Coffey keeps it in bounds just in front of the scorer's table. Now to Iorio. Iorio driving one-on-one, stutter steps, puts up the floater on the spin. No good. Coffey on the rebound, and the second chance points. Cameron Coffey.
Not often, Eli, does she show that she can rebound and use her body down low with her left hand, but now she's done it everywhere so far.
Near side Jarvis, stutter steps, sends it to Labozo, and a travel. Had Labozo wide open on the handoff behind her back in the corner where Labozo nailed it too earlier on. A couple subs coming in for Ithaca's Iorio and Polche to the bench. Avery McPeak checking in, as well as Jillian Payne, and a 9-4 lead for the Bombers. Seeing that depth, we're going to see a lot of that today and throughout the next few games for Ithaca on display. Dixon down low, the pass, batted away and out of bounds. So it'll stay William Smith ball. Got tipped into the front row of the stands on the far side. Almost 5 minutes into this one. Ithaca 3 for 8 from the floor. 6 of their points coming from the field, from beyond the arc, rather. Dixon, near corner, that's Payne. Back to the top of the key, McPeak. Had herself a pretty nice game yesterday. Less than 5 on the shot clock. Here's Dixon for 3. Can't connect. Just off the left side of the iron. They'll call a foul, though, against William Smith on Coffey just before the buzzer sounded. Ithaca was arguing in the first place that the shot clock would reset, but it's not going to matter as Coffey will head to the line here.
It was almost too quick for the shot clock to reset as Coffey grabbed the basketball right off and hit the rim. So really a game of inches, and the Bombers get helped out there.
First from the stripe is good for Coffey. She's already got 6 on the afternoon. And a 2-for-2 stand for Cameron Coffey at the foul stripe. 6 games already in the season with double digits, including 12 yesterday for Coffey, and a very strong start to this game. From the near side, the stutter step just inside the perimeter floater, no good, out of the hands of Martin, and Ithaca will take it. Battle of rebounds so far has been won by the defenses on both sides. This has been quick transition, backdoor, now on the beautiful screen, kick out to Dixon, and no good. Fight for the rebound underneath the basket, and a jump ball.
Great jump ball down low, and you do bring up the defense and how well they've been able to control the game on the defensive rebounds, ending possessions quickly, but Coffey's been the only one that has kept possessions alive for the Bombers, the offensive rebounds, and then seeing Watkins there, knowing the possession arrow and holding on for the jump ball.
Leah Brunt checking in here for William Smith. Another substitution on a loaded roster. Ball poked out of bounds there by Amelia McCulley, who's freshly checked in as well. McCulley strong on defense, 8 blocks, 8 steals on the season. Forces the Bombers taken all the way in front of the scores table. 10 on the shot clock now for Payne. Back towards the top of the key and McPeak. Near side Coffey down low. Watkins floater as she turns away. No good. McPeak on the rebound. Can't get the second chance points. Dixon is fouled as she goes up on another rebound, trying to knock it off the glass, and she'll head to the stripe.
And that's what separates the Bombers right there from a lot of other teams in the Liberty League. And, how William Smith started off this game playing it close. What changes is the mistakes the Herons made in not being able to grab defensive rebounds. The Bombers are the best team in the conference at keeping possessions alive on the offensive side.
Second in the conference in offensive rebounds. Good from the stripe for Dixon is Yorio checking back in for Watkins. Second for Dixon is good. The D1 transfer, 2 for 2 from the line, 13-4. Bombers lead by 9. Just over 6 minutes in. At the top of the key, McKelly pass down low, and the off-ball foul.
Looks like on Yorio there, just trying to get around on that post up there from Bledsoe, trying to get around and poke that ball away. First foul against the Bombers, 3 already on the Herons. And foul trouble is something that we saw kind of affect the Bombers a little bit in that game to make it as Union crawled back.
McCulley to the corner. Back towards the top in the wing. How about a floater just inside the perimeter from the elbow? No good. Off the backboard. Stripped Yorio. Ball on the ground. They'll call the foul. It was Yorio and Brunt diving for the basketball just in front of the Bombers' bench. And it looks like the foul will be on Yorio and the Bombers here. So it'll stay William Smith ball. A couple more substitutions. Dixon and Coffey coming out here for Drevna. Polche back in as well. Inbound to the near side and around the perimeter. Back to the corner. Walsh drives. Baseline. Stopped by Polche. Looks for somewhere to go. And the takeaway as the pass to McCulley, the intended target, was batted away right into the hands of Drevna, who goes to Polche. Now Drevna back down the far sideline. Baseline on the left side on the short corner, looking for somewhere to go. Yorio sets something up. Back to Payne at the top of the screen. Now to Polche. Drevna looking to keep it in bounds. Almost loses it there. Covered closely. McPeak with an opening down low. Gets the feed. And the teardrop from the right side in. It's an 11-point lead now for Ithaca.
And it's so easy to pick apart a defense with those quick passes, which the Bombers do so well.
Out to the wing there on a travel called on Molly Walsh. Gives it back to the Bombers. 11-0 run for Ithaca and almost 5 minutes where William Smith has been scoreless. Taking advantage of some poor passing on a couple of opportunities as well.
And at the same time, it's tough for a team like the Herons when you're 1-10 and a lot's not going well, and to come out with a game like this and already be down 15-4.
Drevna down low. Yorio, she's got 3 Herons in front of her. Can't get the basket and the rebound. Can they retain possession? Payne almost stripping the ball from McCulley. Another pass down low off the fingertips of Yorio. And it's going to go out of bounds in front of the far side bleachers to be inbounded by William Smith. William Smith has significantly sped up their pace over the last few minutes. trying to beat this Bombers team in transition, where Ithaca's gotten a lot of their takeaways, has been in that passing game trying to get into the paint. Feels like William Smith's barely even able to get there. Just as I say it, Yorio slaps that ball away, trying to get down low, trying to get your opportunities in the paint, but unable to pass the ball there thanks to some strong Ithaca defense. Yorio with a few nice takeaways. Here's Drevna down low, off the right iron on the layup. That's no good, and William Smith will get the rebound. To the corner. How about a three? McCulley long, right into the lap of Payne. Again, no Herons in the paint. Nobody down low to get the rebound. It was all Ithaca, thanks to some strong defense. An 11-point lead. Kick out McPeak from the wing. Back down low, Yorio. Stutter steps, drives one-on-one. Can't get the first, and she'll get fouled as she was going up, taking the rebound off the glass, and she'll go to the line.
And it's really tough there for the Herons to even be on the offensive side to rebound. And, right now what William Smith is trying to do is they're trying to move quickly, create open shots in transition, something they don't always love to do. And that's their best chance with the way the Bombers are playing. They're trying to catch the Ithaca defense off guard in movement.
Couple of steals already for Yorio. Her first from the stripe is good. First points of the day for the junior. Solid off the bench with 6 points per game last year. Fought her way into the starting five to begin the year. And the junior's been quite solid these last few games for Ithaca. Double-double against FDU earlier in the season as well. How about another takeaway? Yorio, fast break, and she's got it. Yorio with the layup on the fast break points. Takeaway looked like initially forced by Polche. More points off the turnovers for the Bombers.
In the first few minutes, we thought maybe the Herons were in this, but this is the Bombers game we expected.
Layup no good on the hook from down low. Brooke Jarvis, still scoreless, is the points leader for this Herons team and in the Liberty League. Strong Ithaca defense equalizing the top threat on this Herons squad so far. McPeak, baseline, Drevna, and a travel. Just rolled out with that left foot a little bit. Step back, and the violation gives it back to William Smith. 37 seconds left here in the first quarter.
And what would the Herons do here? And really, Brooke Jarvis has been quiet. She's been a lot of the time she's been double-teamed.
Here's Jarvis at the top of the key. One-on-one with McPeak, driving towards the left side. Yorio poking the hands in there, can't get the takeaway. How about a three from deep? Mandyke, no good. Able to get the rebound. Almost William Smith. Another errant pass in out of the hands of a couple of different players. Shot clock turned off. It's 7 seconds left now in the first quarter. Pass down low. Yorio from the right side. Some help from the glass. And in. Bombers end quarter number one with a 21-4 lead and finish it with a 15-0 run. You said it. Looked like William Smith could be in this game in the first couple of minutes, and then Ithaca running away with it.
Well, it was 4-2 to begin, and now it's 21-4, so it says a lot there. Selfless basketball, what the Bombers do. And that last play from Polche to Yorio shows what they bring to the table. Quick pass to the corner, always understanding those quick cuts to Yorio. Man, their playmaking ability is special.
Special indeed. We've seen that a lot so far. We're going to continue to see it. 21-4, Bombers on top. We're going to take a quick break. Quarter number two coming at you on Bombers Live. Back in quarter number 2 from Ben Light Gymnasium, Eli Fishman and Cam Mann bring you the action. 21-4, Ithaca on a 17-0 run over the last 8 minutes or so of quarter number 1. Looking to keep that rolling. Some strong offense. Elizabeth Maka, freshman we talked about earlier in the broadcast, is someone who can make an impact to this one. Out on the floor. How about a wide open 3? Labozo trying to end the scoreless streak. She cannot. Payne gets the rebound. Bombers will keep the ball as it got knocked out of bounds from the grad student in Kelly. Freshly checked in as well. Payne will inbound it from in front of the Bomber bench. Polche taking it across midcourt. Now to Drevna. Drevna, another freshman who's come in, made a splash early on in the season. Had herself a tremendous first game of the year against Cortland with 14 points. How about a 3 from Polche from the wing? That's no good. Coming in out of nowhere, Anya Watkins swoops in, snags the glass, and gets the second chance points. 23-4, Bombers running away with it. Looking to end the scoreless streak, William Smith. The rebound down low, Labozo gets it done. 23-6 now. Deficit cut. First points in almost 9 minutes for William Smith. Can they complete the takeaway there? Ball on the ground. Labozo gets it. And they'll call the foul against Labozo and Drevna. It's on the William Smith side. By the way, the one that forced that takeaway was Jasmine Lewis, who is second in the Liberty League with 20 steals on the season. Some of her first action of the game. Leading the team in the steal department. Almost saw it there, but the foul gives it back to the Bombers. How about a 3 for Drevna? Off the left iron, William Smith gets the rebound, or will they? Can they contain it? Being swarmed by Maka and Payne there was Labozo. Errant pass from Lewis sends it out of bounds towards the Bombers bench, gives it back to Ithaca. Another strong possession from William Smith, at least in the transition side. Once they got onto the other side of the court, just the errant passes, that one going out of bounds, giving it right back to the Bombers.
And that's what happens sometimes with a team like this. When you're struggling, it's quick foul down there, down low. But half the things you're doing well and half the things you're not. Looks like this one's on the floor, so the Bombers will inbound.
Will be Polche to inbound it. That's where you got to beat this Bombers team, is in the transition department, in the passing department, because such a strong defense, such a quick pace on defense for this Bombers side can be tough to beat. We've seen it early on in the season with some high-point scoring games. That's what Vassar did in Ithaca's sole loss in conference play. Coffey from the left side goes for the finger roll, no good. Some second chance opportunities. Drevna steps out of bounds. She's fouled first, it appears, so it'll stay Bomber ball. But that Vassar game, Vassar was quick in transition. They got the ball into the paint quick. It was bang, bang, one side of the court to the other. That's what some of the teams that Ithaca's played extremely well against over these last few days. You look at Rochester, a team that's been ranked in the national poll over the last few years, that Ithaca dominated in that transition side. Screen Watkins, left side, Coffey throws up the layup, no good. Ball will stay in Ithaca possession.
Three-point shooting is also the Bombers have had trouble defending. It's not something that William Smith brings to the table, but you think about a 1-10 team, when you get the leading scorer and the leading player in steals in Lewis and then what Jarvis is able to do, that's not often you see that as a one-win team. There is talent on the William Smith squad. It's just bringing it all together with the 5 on the floor.
Dixon back in for Drevna. Payne to Watkins, stepping inside the perimeter. Here's Dixon. Payne for 3, right iron. Watkins under the basket, gets the rebound, and she's fouled. Watkins will head to the stripe.
Second chance opportunities for the Bombers is something that we talked about early on. Second in offensive rebounds in the conference, and it will kill a team like the Herons.
20-9. That's the margin that Ithaca is out-rebounding William Smith so far. Haven't had to do a lot of rebounding on the defensive side, as only 15 shots have been put up by William Smith to 25 for Ithaca. Second is good for Watkins, 24-6 the lead. 20% from the floor is William Smith. Ithaca's only at 29.2. Down low. Here's Jarvis. Can't get it to go. Underneath the basket on the rebound, the jump ball goes to Ithaca here. A couple more subs. Maka checking back in for Payne. Coming off will be Labozo for William Smith. Carly Scott in for the first time today for the Herons. Three minutes into quarter number 3. Ithaca running away with it. 23-4, their current run. Maka can't get it down low. And goes back to William Smith as Watkins couldn't keep the rebound inbounds and keep the toe tap.
You love the hustle there from Anya Watkins. You want to see that a little bit more from William Smith to keep possessions alive and maybe try to get some easy second chance points.
Just inside the perimeter on the elbow. Back towards the top of the key to Lewis. Lewis loses the ball. Polche, can she keep it in bounds? Beauty of a takeaway. Now looking to capitalize on the other side of the court. Dixon down low. Looking for the foul. Can't get it as she throws one up on the layup from the right side. You bring up a good point about bringing the energy in a game where the score is 24-6. Two of the bigger wins for Ithaca have come against Union and Bard, both by almost 30 points. And in both of those games, Coach Raymond used all of his timeouts in the second half to bring in his team on a couple occasions. That was the angriest we've seen him, sending the message to continue to play hard, continue to give it 100%, continue to fight for your minutes, continue to work on things, and that no opportunity on the floor is a given.
It's a really tough challenge, too.
When you've won some games like Ithaca has, definitely can be. But a lot of these players fighting for minutes late in the season, a couple of the freshmen like Mako, how about a beauty of a feed to Cameron Coffey, freshly checked back in. Coffey with 9 points on the day already in this one. And another nice assist from Maka. She had herself a couple in yesterday's game as well. Another freshman who we're likely to see a lot of minutes from down the stretch in conference play. Looking to earn him here from just inside the perimeter on the baseline. No good. Brooke Jarvis fouled down low, but Jarvis right now is 0 for 6 from the floor. She's shooting 43.3 on the season, and has been shut out so far on the day. A testament to the defense for Ithaca so far.
A lot of contested shots, and even when there's a one-on-one matchup, Eli, there's multiple times where we saw even in that first quarter that helped defense, and it's really tough to be able to score and move around that when you have two defenders trying to block a shot on Jarvis.
Bledsoe's second from the stripe. No good. Watkins gets the rebound. Scott hits the floor. Bit of a mismatch there with Scott at 5'3". Watkins at 5'11". Backcourt violation after the errant pass. Grayson Dubin freshly checked in for the Bombers.
A little bit too quick-minded there was Dubin. That great pass to Coffey right back to her. Felt the three. It was open for a quick second, and those opportunities, you just got to kind of pull the trigger and not do too much.
26-7 the score. Bombers on top. Just over 5 minutes left here. And a travel on Amelia McCulley. Playing for her first time since the Franklin and Marshall game almost 2 weeks ago. Didn't play against RIT last night. Huge advantage over winter break, too, for William and Smith. Was playing in a tournament in Massachusetts at Worcester Polytechnic Institute. So they got to face a couple strong teams in WPI and Franklin Marshall over the winter break. Talked about it more yesterday, but a lot of the teams in the Limber League hadn't played in almost a month. William Smith getting some good opportunities over winter break. The foul down low on Coffey sends her to the stripe. First is good. Double digits on the day already for Cameron Coffey. 7th double-digit performance of the season for the grad student from East Hanover, New Jersey. Nails the second from the line.
And she stepped up into a star player role, not a role player like the last 2 seasons.
That was evident from day one, where she capped off a big game with the buzzer beater from 3 as the clock wound down in regulation to give Ithaca the win over Cortland in a huge rivalry matchup of the last couple of years. 3 from just outside in the corner for McCulley. It's long. Dixon gets the rebound. Beautiful behind the back dribble to evade traffic. Straightaway 3, Dixon front iron. Here's Jarvis back towards the top of the key. Driving left side, down low. Slapped away by June Dixon, the D1 transfer, who's got 5 blocks entering today on the season. Adding another to swat it out of bounds. It'll stay William Smith ball, though, as Isabella Middleman checks in for the first time today for Cameron Coffey. McCulley from the corner. Now Lewis. Now down low. Able to keep the ball in her possession. That's Jarvis. Help from the backboard. Swirls it in to cut the deficit. 19 points now.
There were just 3 players as well on Jarvis. Being able to find her down low is the goal.
Got to imagine for Ithaca that's number 1 in the scouting report. Is Jarvis leading the team with 16.7 points per game, leading the conference. We've barely seen her in action today. Stepping out of bounds off the rebound. Ball's going to go back to Ithaca, it appears. That was McCulley, who tried to reel in the board. Lost her footing down low to the left of the basket, and Ithaca will send it right back in. Middleman in the corner. Top the key to Dubin. Now Dixon. Stutter step straight away 3 off the back iron. Dubin second chance points. Rolls in. Grayson Dubin on the board. And the Bombers up 39.
You can't afford right now in a game like this, if you're the Herons, you have to box out.
Some more strength on defense down low. Slapping that pass to Walsh right outside of the paint. Foul on Ithaca, as we'll see McPeak and Drevna checking back in here for the Bombers. It's on the floor, so it'll be sent in from the wing here by Jarvis. Looking to bounce back on offense. Maddie Patrick checking back into the game. Pass down low, the foul on Dubin. Had Walsh one-on-one. Walsh went for the layup, trying to go up top. And she gets denied by Dubin, but the foul called. And that will send Walsh to the stripe.
Free throw chances could help the Herons here tremendously.
Good from the stripe on the first for Walsh, the junior, who had 9 points last night against Rochester Institute of Technology. Mentioned the fouls as well. Ithaca, they're only scoring less than 10 points per game from the free throw stripe, allowing almost 12. Something to keep an eye on. Came down to it in the Vassar game as well. Another aspect late in that game where Ithaca probably allowed a few too many fouls at the end. Dixon looking for somewhere to go. Being pushed to the top of the key, Drevna back to Dixon. Almost bobbles it. Throws up a prayer from the right side. And a beauty on the layup. Dixon, as she was falling out of bounds, throws one off the glass and in. 22-point lead for the Bombers with 2:30 left to go before the halftime break. Jarvis covered by Drevna, off-ball foul. On the Bombers' side, it was on McPeak as Polche checks back in for Dixon. And heading to the foul stripe here is Bledsoe, the sophomore from Davis, California. Off the back iron on the first. William Smith looking to capitalize again with their limited chances on offense. Quite a few of them over the last few minutes coming at the foul stripe. 0 for 2, Bledsoe at the stripe as McPeak gets the rebound. Now to Drevna, and the takeaway right back into the hands of Drevna. Between Jarvis and Drevna going back and forth. Turnover, and the foul is how it ends. It's called on Drevna.
You love there from Jarvis, though, at the very least, in a game like this, finally some pressure from William Smith at the half court. Maybe something that Coach Sherman in our 18th season wants to put together here. You're down 32-10. Maybe your best chance right now is just slowing down the Ithaca offense. If you got a good enough of a half-court press or even a full-court press you can bring together, the only problem with that is how good the Bombers are in transition.
It's Sherman, the 18th-year head coach, that calls the timeout, brings their team to the bench to talk things over. On the Ithaca side, it's Mary Marzella, the assistant coach, talking to her team in the huddle. Seeing some fresh faces again checking in as Grace McNamara was coming in right as the timeout was called. Polche, the sole player that has started a game in her collegiate career, remaining on the court, still starter, as it's McPeak, Drevna, McNamara, Polche, and Middleman, and Drevna will go to the line after the foul called on Jarvis. After that battle of turnovers, both players poking the ball out of each other's hands at midcourt. Drevna, 6 points, all coming from beyond the arc yesterday on 2 threes. Also had herself 3 steals. Another player with high hopes in her next few years in a Bomber uniform. Part of a strong freshman class. Jarvis denied in the paint. Second chance points. Rolling around the rim and in. 33-12. Bombers still on top. Middleman from the wing goes to the top of the key, and McNamara around the perimeter. Drevna now to Polche. Setting up the screen, McPeak. Stutter steps, drives, sends it to Middleman. Middleman drives down the lane. Throws one up with the left hand. No good. Rebound under the net by McPeak, and the jump ball.
Great job there from McPeak trying to hold on, but comes down to sometimes just the possession arrows. So the Herons will take it here. And the Herons offense, you want to see a little bit more from Jarvis. Maybe just let her have the basketball in her hands and try to work something herself.
Continuously trouble getting it inside the paint, inside the perimeter for William Smith. They've tried to play the perimeter, but some struggles in that department. 0 for 5 from 3. From just inside the perimeter at the elbow. Talk about Brooke Jarvis. There she is with the jumper. Swirls it in, and the deficit is cut, but a foul on the William Smith side. That was Molly Walsh trying to almost play the press against Polche. And it'll be Polche heading to the line with Bombers in the bonus.
But those quick passes there to Jarvis is how you get her open. You let her just pass it off very quickly there to Lewis, have her go around Lewis, and those quick give-and-go plays, the Bombers do it so well, and so the Herons do it finally for Jarvis.
No good on the first from Polche, but Jarvis was defended. Saw sometimes 3 on her at the beginning of the game. She was 0 for her first 6 from the floor. Now she's got 8 points, making 4 of her last 6.
You wonder, too, for this squad for the Herons on the offensive side, you're not seeing a lot of off-ball screens or on-ball screens. It's kind of a lot of do-it-yourself pass and move.
Down the baseline. You see it there. You got 5 different Bombers right underneath the basket. Able to draw the foul there was Walsh. Looking to get some points out of that. Trouble driving towards the basket. Trouble getting down low for this William Smith team. Best you can do on a case scenario like that is draw a foul. We saw a couple nifty plays from Jarvis where she was able to get it inside the bucket.
Their best shooter from 3 is Jarvis at 36%, which is solid. But outside of that, it's a lot of players that are in that 20 sub range. So that is the smart play to have the defense down low.
Shooting 202 from beyond the arc, this William Smith team. And that's obviously something we can see that Raymond and co. went over in their scouting report. Foul as Bombers poking for the rebound. And they'll walk to the other side of the court. where it'll be William Smith going to the line, foul on McNamara. And going to the stripe for William Smith here will be Brunt. 4 points per game on the season. Coming off a strong couple of weeks, including the Rochester game for Brunt, where had double-digit points against RPI as well in what's the sole conference win for William Smith to this point. 1-2 in Liberty League play. They've already seen RIT, Vassar, and Union. 3 pretty strong opponents. Low-scoring affair, 49-33 against Union, who Ithaca took down by a wide margin yesterday. Steal on the defensive side for Jarvis, stripping the ball from Drevna. Down low, swatted away by McPeak. Bledsoe, the intended target. Great job being quick in transition there for William Smith. It was just that pass down low. You had Bledsoe one-on-one. And a nice play on defense to swat that ball away. That was McPeak. Back to Jarvis, covered by McNamara. Back towards the logo. Less than 10 on the shot clock. Less than 10 on the game clock as the shot clock turned off. Second chance points. Jarvis, fade away, and good. High note for William Smith on the beauty of a jumper from Jarvis to end quarter number 2. 33-20. William Smith chipping away. Only a 13-point deficit. It was more than 20 at one point, slowly crawling their way back with some subs in the game for the Bombers.
And, you look at those final seconds for this Herons team, and what they were able to do so well is the quick passes off ball to get Jarvis open. And finally, when you get inside the paint like that, you force some contact. The refs time and time again are going to call a foul in favor of the driver, the offensive player, if you can be able to draw it down low. And the Bombers so far have shown that they're not able to defend those drives. And when you double team, there's more of a chance to draw a foul. So strong there from this Herons squad. And, 13-point game. It was, 21-4 after that first quarter. So what a job from William Smith to stick together and keep this now a 13-point ball game.
They've fought back. We've seen some nice performances from a few young Bombers who've shined so far in this one. 13-point lead for Ithaca. And we're going to head to the break. Coming back, quarter number 3 coming at you on Bomber Sports. back for half number 2 from Ben Light Gymnasium. 33-20, Bombers on top of the Herons. Eli Fishman and Cam Manna alongside with you. Bringing the action on Bomber Sports game 1 of 2 as we've got the men's game, Hobart and Ithaca coming up after this one. 10 straight wins to start off the season, and a loss yesterday for the Hobart men's team. But this William Smith team, they were down at one point by 23 points. They've gotten back to a 13-point deficit, 33-20 the score. Strong end to half number 1 after they were scoreless for almost 8 minutes at one point in time. They were really picking everything up, and Bombers will bring their starting 5 back out onto the floor.
And the big thing for the Herons there was boxing out, not allowing the Bombers to get a lot of those offensive rebounds, and finally trying to get Jarvis going on the offensive side. Those quick screen and pop plays where you're able to, see a player on the floor like Clark, if she can move around a screen and give the ball off those give and goes, her ability to create her own shots quickly, that's very impressive, and it's the key for William Smith.
William Smith is actually shooting better from the floor than the Bombers. They're at 30.8%. Bombers at 28.6%. Foul down low. Looks like it was on William Smith going up against Coffey on the floor. It was on Lewis, so it'll be Dixon to inbound it. Jarvis, you mentioned her, had a couple of nice steals. She's played pretty well on a couple of occasions throughout the course of the game. She was off to a really slow start. She was 0 for her first 7. She's now got 8 points. Heating up those last few minutes. Game plan you discussed, feeding her the ball down low. Dixon finds a lane off the glass and in on the layup. Back to a 15-point lead for the Bombers. Dixon was out for a lot of the second quarter. Still got 6 points. Now make it 8 points on the day. And a foul against the Ithaca side. That'll send Brooke Jarvis to the line.
Great job there from Jarvis, and it's those inlet passes inside the paint. The Bombers have kept 3 of their players inside because, with this William Smith team shooting 20% from 3, they try to get inside, and finally Jarvis forcing foul trouble. That's their key, Eli. If they can get the Bombers in foul trouble here and force some chances at the line, that can help this offense that's been struggling a lot.
6 for 11 from the line. They've been granted quite a few chances from the foul stripe by just trying to get that ball down low. It's been knocked out a lot of the times. Turning the ball over 14 times in the first half for the Herons. A lot of trouble getting passes in the paint, making plays happen. Watkins, the screen, the feedback to Polche. Can she get the second chance points? No, she can't. Snagging off the glass is Jarvis. And a nice play after a pretty well drawn up screen on the Ithaca side. Jarvis forces another foul. She was one-on-one with Polche. Just tried to almost toss that ball underhand. Get the shot off and get the foul. She does. Jarvis heads back to the line for the second time in 30 seconds.
I think the big thing that Lindsey Sherman, the head coach William Smith, said in that halftime break to Jarvis is, let's be a little bit more aggressive down low and force some fouls. Even if they're contested shots, we got to get more shots up right now, being down by as much as 23 points, as Eli said before, but now cutting this lead to an 11-point game.
Deficit's cut right back. 23-35, back to a 12-point deficit. Quite manageable. How about a takeaway? We talked about her earlier. That's Jasmine Lewis, who leads the team with 20 steals. She's already got 2 on the day after another. Driving down the baseline one-on-one with Yorio off the glass into the hands of Yorio. Jump ball called. And it'll stay William Smith ball. Another break being caught by the Herons offense.
And we'll see how the Bombers are able to work here on the defensive side as not a prime opportunity. Maybe they get a Jarvis with an outlet pass.
They give Jarvis the ball at the top of the key. She stutter steps for 3. Now driving down the near side. Walsh off the glass, no good. Watkins on the rebound. Can they keep it in their possession on the Ithaca side? Strong press. That's McCauley coming in out of nowhere, almost snagging that ball away. Dixon to Watkins. Setting up the screen. Wide open 3 for Dixon. Splash. Judy Dixon cashes in yet again. Bombers extend the lead right back. 38-23. Dixon with 9 points on the day now. double digits in all but 2 games this season. Coming right back, bench getting quite excited, but a fast break on the other side. Annabella Iorio silences the bench. Timeout called by Dan Raymond. And what a play by Brooke Jarvis. Down low, doing exactly what we talked about, doing her job in the paint. Jarvis now with 13 points on the day. Strong start to half number 2.
And I will say, great play there from Jarvis, and I understand the excitement there, but William Smith, you got to get back on defense. You know, the Bombers called a timeout. William Smith, obviously a great run and, you know, stormed the floor in excitement. You have to get back on defense. You can't allow Iorio. She just sprinted the length of the floor. They threw a full court pass. At the end of the day, the Bombers won the bigger battle there and kind of, you know, were able to score and stop momentum. And Jarvis had a very good start to the third quarter. Not going to take anything away from her ability, but you can't let 1 or 2 exciting plays get in the way of what the scoreboard is at the moment. You got to play consistent basketball for the remainder.
Good point. You're still down 15 at this point. A small victory and a great play by Jarvis. That ball batted away. Polche keeps it in bounds against McCulley. He's able to get it off to Dixon. Can she retain possession? McCulley poking towards the basketball. Can't get the takeaway. Down low, Iorio, the hesitation. Can't get the first. Ball on the ground. No jump ball called. It's Dixon. Stutter steps back towards the corner. Pulls up from 3. Off the left iron and no good. It's Lewis. Gets the rebound. Press from Dixon. She draws a foul. This game is sped up considerably after the timeout. Even in those last few seconds before the timeout. Dixon playing a little bit more aggressively on the defensive side in that battle between her and Molly Walsh. That's the battle to watch right now. Dixon playing almost a press, one-on-one. Down the sideline and back to Jarvis at the top of the key. Fans away on winter break, but William Smith bench considerably upping the energy right now. How about a 3 from the corner? No good, Walsh. Iorio down low on the rebound. Polche taking it all the way herself to the paint. Iorio at the top of the key. Stutter steps to Dixon on the right wing. Back to Iorio, taking their time to draw something up. Coffee pump fakes 3. Now drives down low. Coffee's fouled. Looking to get some points out of that one.
And a quick stat update, actually. The mistake of Eli and I. Brooke Jarvis actually just reached 1,000 points in her career. And that probably was due to the celebration on that play and the courtesy timeout that Coach Raymond was able to give off. But Brooke Jarvis came into this game in that high 900-point range, 13 points here, and at that 1,000-point mark.
Well, huge congratulations in order to Jarvis, who's had herself a tremendous season, tremendous career for the senior from Baldwinsville, surpassing that coveted 1,000-point mark.
And she's the engine of this team, leader of the Liberty League in scoring, and she's what makes this Herons team compete.
Can the Bombers complete the takeaway down low as they're able to get it as rolls out, but quite a career for Jarvis after she was the Rookie of the Year in the Liberty League in the 21-22 season with 17.6 points per game. Followed that up with an all-conference campaign last year after her freshman year obviously taken away due to the pandemic. How about Polche for 3 from the wing? No good. Watkins gets the rebound down low. Back to Iorio at the elbow. Charging foul on Iorio. That time dropping Patrick to the ground. Ball's going in the other direction.
And William Smith right now, and we mentioned a little bit pregame, obviously a 1-10 basketball team, but they've played some very close games. They were able to, compete with a team like RIT, obviously, in their most recent game, beat RPI. Hey, the wins are not there at the moment, but they've shown the ability to keep a lot of games closer than expected. And the Bombers right now have to compete a little bit more. There's a 23-point lead.
Around the perimeter to Brunt. We talked about it a couple times, given a couple blowout wins Dan Raymond does not like late games where you're not still chipping away in terms of that score and increasing that score. We see it. Only non-starter on the court right now is McPeak. Beauty of a layup driving from the left side, Joni Dixon. You got Polche, Dixon, Coffey, and Watkins on the court. Ball swatted away, going in Ithaca's direction. Nice takeaway there. Payne checking back in here for Polche. Coffey at 12 points in this one, by the way. Leading the Bombers team. Here's Watkins with the floater basically from the foul stripe. Taking her time, lets it fly. Back to a 20-point lead for the Bombers. Labazo checking back in for William Smith. And around the perimeter they go. Van Dyke. Pump fakes to the top of the key. Brunt looking for somewhere to go. And the violation. Two hands on the basketball, so to go back to Ithaca. And timeout called by the William Smith side. Looked like they had a couple substitutions ready to go on deck. But William Smith and Sherman taking the timeout. Down by 20. Ithaca able to go on a 7-0 run. 7 straight points after, again, William Smith doing a good job of chipping away on the offensive side, figuring it out a little bit more. Big thanks. Big piece of that has been thanks to Brooke Jarvis.
And it's so tough for one player to do it all, especially when you haven't made a three-pointer. You're 0 for 5 from 3, and especially in a game, the modern era of basketball is so huge on three-point range, and it's just, common math at the end of the day. If, the Bombers are going to hit 3 three-pointers, only 3, thankfully, for the William Smith team, you're just going to get more points at the end of the day and more shots up, so it's tough for Brooke Jarvis to do everything.
Dixon across midcourt. Almost taking it herself to the rim. Coffey with the pass to the top of the key. The screen set up. Ball jarred loose. And the takeaway for William Smith. Jump ball is going to go back to the Bombers. McPeak and Watkins swarming against Brunt. Get the takeaway. Big play there on defense. Winning that battle in transition again. As Payne, the inbounder, pass off the fingertips of McPeak. A little bit of a communication passing mistake there between Payne and McPeak as the ball goes out of bounds. Right back to William Smith. Brunt, top of the key. Labozo back around the perimeter to the corner. Back to Brunt. Trying to draw something up. Kicking out to the corner, Labozo drives towards the basket, looks for a lane. She's denied. Fast break chance here for Payne. Slows it down. Coffey comes in out of nowhere, and she's fouled. Good turnover there. Bombers forcing another one. That's now 20 turnovers forced by this Ithaca defense on the day as Coffey to the strike.
And that was one thing that probably William Smith talked about. Can't let the Bombers run in transition as much and how well they have.
Good on the first for Coffey. Her point total is up over a dozen now. Ithaca now on an 8-0 run. Can't complete the second. Payne from the top of the key. To the corner. Coffey for 3. Rolls in and out. Who's going to get the rebound? McPeak gets the rebound. Watkins pushing. Polche from the stripe. No good. Rolls in and out. Second chance opportunity. No. Whose ball is it? It's going to stay Bomber ball. McPeak couldn't complete the play on the rebound. Ithaca is going to retain possession, though. Drevna checking in for Coffey.
Now we'll see what the Bombers do here now, back with that second, third rotation, and they are up by a lot, but this is when William Smith has been able to bring the runs, and a good mix substitution here for Coach Sherman, seeing who the Bombers brought in. Now they bring back in Jarvis, their top scorer.
Jarvis as well as 3 other Herons coming onto the court. Pass on the inbound goes to Payne and around the perimeter. Back to McPeak, top of the key now to Polche. She drives towards the baseline. Floater from just inside the perimeter. Knocks it down. Hannah Polche adds to her point total. Bombers add to the lead. It's 48-25. Now to the corner. 3 for Kelly. Right iron. Under the basket. Getting the rebound is Jarvis. And they'll call a foul on the floor.
Looks like the 5th foul now against the Bombers as well.
Already 5. Also worth mentioning that Annabelle Iorio's got 4, so we haven't seen her since the very beginning of quarter number 3. As you send Brooke Jarvis to the line off the iron. At 13 points is Jarvis, and as we mentioned, really slow start, unexpected in terms of Ithaca's defense, very much being able to keep her off the board in the first quarter. And then she turned it on late. Adds to her point total from the strike. Drevna in the corner. McPeak top of the key. She drives to the left side and fouled. Had 2 different Herons right on top of her in Martin and McCulley. As McPeak heads to the stripe. Timeout first. And the 30-second timeout called by Lindsey Sherman. Back to over a 20-point lead, 22 points with the Bombers on top, 48-26. That 13-3 run continuing. This game's been a game of runs. William Smith on a couple of opportunities. We've seen them late in the second quarter coming back within 13 points. But Ithaca on a couple of different chances when their offense has been hot, they've just run away with it. Saw I believe it was 11 straight points early on in the first half, which have killed this Herons defense. We've seen a lot of substitutions on the defensive sides, particularly trying to just slow down this Ithaca offense. Elizabeth Maka checking into this game, by the way, for the Bombers.
It's really tough to slow an offense down like this with 11 different players that could score.
Calling out plays, that's Walsh. Goes to the corner, Kelly. Kelly, the grad student, sole 5th year on the roster, trying to give a chance to Jarvis. One-on-one with Maka. Foul. Maka doesn't like the call. Bombers don't. And that's going to send Jarvis to the line. We talked about it a little bit early on, but Bombers have had some trouble on the defensive side in that foul department. They've allowed double-digit points today from the foul stripe of the now 27 points for William Smith.
And now they're in the single bonus, so free chances now at the stripe.
Jarvis with another strong stand. 16 points on the afternoon. To Drevna. To the top of the key, Maka. Now Payne. Bombers looking to get the offense back hot. How about Drevna for 3? Knocks it down. Drevna went 2 for 2 beyond the arc yesterday with 6 points. She's on the board today from 3, and a big play with less than 2 minutes left to go in quarter number 3, and a travel called on Kirsten Kelly. Going back in Ithaca's direction after a big 3. Ithaca 4 for 15 on the triples today. Maka one-on-one with McCulley. Sends it to McPeak. Payne. Seller steps back towards the top of the key. Now to McPeak again, looking to set something up. She's got Maka. 10 on the shot clock and the takeaway. Being guarded quite well was Maka. Only option was to send it to the corner. She tried to. Ball gets snagged away by the Herons. Maddie Patrick capitalizes with some more points off of the turnover. And Payne loses possession now. Ball slipping out of her hands on the dribble, so it'll go back to the Herons. Talking about runs. Right now, William Smith on one of their own, where this offense has been heating up. A lot of that has been some miscommunication on the passing side for Ithaca.
Taking advantage of mistakes.
Stutter step. Jarvis rolls off the glass. Polche, the sole starter for Ithaca remaining in the game. Around the perimeter, Payne. McPeak back to Maka. Maka with a chance towards the glass. And one. Elizabeth Maka, beauty of a layup down the baseline. Saw an opening and fouled on top of it. It was McCauley on the foul, and Maka will go to the foul stripe.
A young, talented freshman that has shown her ability to quickly drive to the rack. A lefty that right there go to the right side and finishing with the contact.
Maka with almost 6 points per game in her 8 games played on the season, just over 12 minutes per game, but has taken advantage of that. We saw 8 points in the victory over SUNY New Paltz, receiving votes in the national poll in a close game that Ithaca won in the last 48 seconds. Shot clock 1 minute ahead of the game clock. Rolling it in there is Kelly. 5 seconds left in quarter number 3. As the buzzer about to shout, Payne from deep, nails it. Jillian Payne with the 3, fading away into the Bomber bench. Buzzer beater to end quarter number 3. Bombers with a 59-32 lead. They've got the excitement heading to the bench, and they've got the big lead, 59-32. We're going to break, but when we come back on Bomber Sports, the final quarter, number 4, Bombers looking for their 5th straight win. Back for quarter number 4. 10 minutes to decide this one between William Smith and Ithaca. Bombers with the big-time lead, 59-32. With a strong end to quarter number 3 with the Payne 3 as she was falling into the bench. Yeah, but a 3 ball here from the wing. Leah Brunt nails it. Slow start from 3 for William Smith. That was actually their first from beyond the arc. They were 0 for 6 getting on the board. We've got 4 of the 5 starters for the Bombers into this game. Coffey wide open from the wing for 3 off the back iron. Coffey, Watkins, Yorio, and Dixon. Dubin, the sole player that didn't start this game. How about Jarvis from 3 off the backboard into the hands of Watkins? Mentioned it earlier, Yorio with 4 fouls. Got a lot of your most experienced players on the court as well. The sole exception being Polche. 5 most experienced collegiate players for Ithaca foul down low.
And crucial experience because you look at Coffey and Polche especially, and even Yorio last season, players that have played in NCAA tournament games, Liberty League championships, that's already an edge. Then you bring in Junie Dixon, we've talked about, or she's played at a different level that surpasses championship conference games in Division III.
To the corner, wide open, Coffey. 3. The triple for Cameron Coffey. Another on the day. 16 points for Coffey. Continuing to click from deep. Jarvis. Pass down low. Guarding the paint so well as they've done all day. Ithaca unable to get a shut off on the possession. Some frustration from Patrick. After the dribble violation is Watkins to send it in here. You talked about Junie Dixon's experience too. Words can't describe what a Division I transfer from Cal Poly brings to the table. Dixon there from the floater just inside the elbow. Nails it. Dixon playing a Division I Cal Poly in the Big West. Playing some of the top teams in the nation. At one point, played the number 1 team in the nation a couple games against South Carolina. So she sees that experience. Got a good amount of playing time as an underclassman. Off the bench a little bit, but still playing in a majority of their games. How about Yorio on a fast break? One-on-one towards the basket. And one. Annabella Yorio had one-on-one with Brunt. Goes over, top fouled as she goes up on the layup. And Yorio will head to the stripe. Double digits on the day for Yorio for the 7th time this season. Looking to add to that total.
Get out and run, and that's what they do, so well. It's almost unstoppable when, the speed of Yorio and that great pass from the guards. We've seen it from Coffey, from Dixon there, and then what Polche has done off the bench, or she's on the bench right now, her full court passes. The Bombers work so well in that spot.
Around the perimeter yet again. Dixon and Walsh. Back to Jarvis. Jarvis driving, spins with Watkins. Can't get anything. Throw up some desperation. Almost going underhand to twirl it off the basket. How about another fast break for Annabella Yorio? The beauty feed. Looks like that was Dixon, who was pretty much on the other side of the logo. 50-foot pass and a dot down low to find Yorio. Timeout called by the William Smith side. And Yorio now with 14 points on the day as well, cooking up over the last couple of minutes.
And all the guards in this Bombers team, the big thing that they're so good at is when they grab that rebound, they're heads up right away for a quick outlet pass, and Yorio has done a great job getting behind the defense. Yorio has multiple times already been in the key, and then she sees that missed shot, and she's out and running, and no one on William Smith has either targeted her or had been able to just keep up with her speed, and the passes from Dixon cannot get much better than that, threading the needle full court.
You mentioned the speed a minute ago, too. Maybe not as much in the starting five, but you look at this Ithaca roster up and down. Good speed for Coffey. Very good speed, very good agility for June Dixon. Yorio tricks you a little bit at 6 foot. She can get out and run as well. A couple opportunities over the last couple of minutes to showcase that speed, taking advantage of a couple defensive mistakes in transition, a couple passing mistakes as well on the William Smith side. And Ithaca running away with the lead now. 69-35. Their largest lead of the day. Lewis checking back in. Driving towards the right side. See that same play with 4 different Bombers right underneath the basket. Jarvis Sevic checking in for Ithaca as well. Her first action of the game. Jumper from deep, short. Yorio picks up the rebound. Foul on the William Smith side. Looks like it was called on Mandyke. Going back to Ithaca here. Another interesting combination. I don't think we've seen this on the court with Jarvis Sevic, Dixon, Yorio Watkins, and Dubin. Foul on William Smith again. Whole lot of experience still on this court with all upperclassmen aside from Dervisevic, the freshman, who's only appeared in 3 games this season. Third coming last night where she was in the game for the last 3 minutes. Here's Dervisevic, the feed to Yorio. Yorio to Watkins at the top of the key. Ball on the ground. Finishing off the takeaway is Lewis. Some help from the foul. Lewis, who we mentioned earlier, made a big impact on defense, giving the feed to McCulley. She can't come through. Bombers quick in transition again. Now Dixon slowing it down. Watkins with a path to the basket, and she's fouled. Lewis almost really wasn't looking at her, and Watkins came in from her back, pretty much stepped into the drive, and that will send Watkins to the stripe.
Yeah, just caught right there in the middle of it was Lewis, and full speed ahead was Watkins, and kind of one of those fouls where you're in just the wrong place, wrong time.
Polche McPeak in for Dubin and Dixon. Middleman coming in as well. Yorio to the bench. And Watkins to the line. No good on the first for Anya Watkins, who's started the last three. Talking about it a little bit throughout the course of the weekend. She has very much earned her spot in the starting five with no Zoraida Iqbal-Seta. (70-35), biggest lead of the day for Ithaca. William Smith looking to heat out from the stripe. The jumper, no good from Miranda Martin. One of two starters remaining in this game. Haven't seen Jarvis in a few minutes, as it'll stay William Smith ball on the far side. We saw from her performance towards the end of the first half and beginning of the third quarter, though, what Jarvis is made of and why she'll likely be an all-conference player again. Currently leading the league in points. Polche trying to get it across midcourt against Krenzer. Her first action of the afternoon for William Smith. Dervisevic, pass batted down, still gets its way to Middleman. Now to Polche. Down low, Dervisevic. Stutter steps, rolls, batted away. But Middleman will take it right back. Watkins almost has the ball stripped. Can Ithaca keep it on their side of the court? McPeak comes out of nowhere to do so. Another pass batted down. Dervisevic. They got the shot clock reset from the shot a moment ago. Polche driving towards the right side. Floater off the back iron. Rebound underneath the basket. Jump ball.
Two great plays there from Middleman, being able to keep the plays alive on that quick steal, and then the jump ball holds possession here for the Bombers. Two very good hustle plays for the junior.
Dervisevic inbounds it. Middleman to the corner around the perimeter. McPeak drives top of the key. Now to Polche, back to McPeak. Down low, Watkins. Off the glass and in. Some more points for Anya Watkins. Now with 7. We're going to drive towards the glass on the William Smith side. Storming Martin is this defense. She's able to get a shot off. But coming right back, Ithaca. Polche from the wing. Now Dervisevic. Calling out plays. Now Middleman. Looking for an opening to the glass. Setting up the screen. McPeak to Polche towards the basket. Off the rim. Gets punched towards Middleman from the elbow. Floater good. Timeout called on the Ithaca side. Rather, no timeout. Looked like everyone was coming towards the bench. But Coach Raymond telling his team to get back out there. Some more substitutions as McNamara checks back in. Biggest lead of the day, 74-35 for the Bombers. Looking for their 5th straight win After their first loss of conference play coming to Vassar in the opener, they have not lost a game. Beauty of a floater from Mandyke there. William Smith looking to just chip away at this point. Same thing as we've seen Ithaca get some underclassmen in the game and try and enhance their minutes for the remainder of the season. Prove themselves for some more minutes. Charlotte Miller checking in for the first time today for the Herons. Dervisevic inbound pass to McNamara. And the takeaway. Labozo, fast break, nobody there. Off the glass, can't get it to go. Can't capitalize on the points off the turnover. Dervisevic gets the screen from McPeak. McPeak stutter steps, goes to Dubin with a path towards the basket, off the glass and in.
Great feed down low, and the Bombers' ability to just find different players that can cut and move, and a great steal there from Dubin.
Dubin with the steal. Gets it across midcourt to McNamara, who drives. Dervisevic pumps from three to the corner, just inside the perimeter. McNamara off the iron and into the hands of Labozo. Middleman, the takeaway. One-on-one towards the glass. She'll slow it down. Back to the top of the key, Dervisevic. To Dubin, slowing it down. Now speeds up down the baseline. Pass to McNamara down low. And it'll be taken away, stripped by Miller. She tries to pass it to Peisneck, who's checked in freshly for William Smith. But it goes out of bounds in front of the Bomber stands. So Dubin sends it in to Dervisevic. To Maka, who's just checked in. McNamara from the corner for three. Can't connect. Foul on the Ithaca side is going to send it back to William Smith. McNamara had 10 points in the game versus FDU. And a Bomber victory. Looking to get on the board today. Been in this game for 4 or 5 minutes. How about a steal? Dervisevic towards the basket, weaving through traffic. Goes up with the floater, no good. Right back to William Smith. And the foul. So it'll go back to the Herons. Less than 1:30, less than 90 seconds left in this game. And Ithaca running away with it. Looking to move to 9-2 on the season. Those two losses coming to one of them Vassar, as we talked about, as well as Trinity, who at the time was the number 7 ranked team in the nation. That loss to Trinity by 11 points and the loss to Vassar came in the last 45 seconds. A couple of missed shots. Bombers had some opportunities, then forced some fouls. Vassar was able to run away with it and put the game out of reach. But that game was closer than the 76-68 score because it came down to that last minute. Bombers looking to prove themselves, get back on top of the conference, picked to place second in the preseason poll behind Skidmore, who won it all last year.
And a few other games, too, for the Bombers this season that they've beaten bridge teams top 25. St. John Fisher always in the mix for top 25. A team like New Paltz, who beat the number 3 team. And then Cortland is also a solid victory that they've seen.
McNamara. Back to Maka and around the perimeter. Dervisevic is the shot clock under 10 now. To the corner. McNamara pumps for 3. Drives down the baseline. 2 on the shot clock. Dervisevic tries for 3. It's short, and it'll go back in William Smith's direction. 44.1 seconds remain. trying to set something up. Poked away by McNamara. And it'll stay Heron's ball. This Ithaca team with tough long road ahead. They're going to play RIT on Tuesday, then Clarkson and St. Lawrence the following weekend. But you got to have Skidmore circled on your calendar. First time they'll meet is January 20th here at home on that Saturday. They'll face Skidmore again in Saratoga Springs on the 2nd of February. And then your final game of the regular season is your second against Vassar. Looking for some redemption against the Brewers, looking to get back on top of the conference. And a big win over William Smith. 76-38. Back-to-back huge wins on the weekend by over 30 points in both of them. 5 straight wins for the Bombers. They moved to 9-2 overall, 3-1 in conference play. Pretty much similar themes as yesterday in terms of the defense in the paint and also the underclassmen that come in off the bench and prove themselves for some minutes down the stretch.
And, now this long win streak for the Bombers moving up to 5 straight wins. You look at the rest of the Liberty League schedule, Eli. They're going to see the Herons and the Garnet Chargers again, both teams they expect to beat. Skidmore is that tough team they'll see, and then they'll face Vassar one more time. You could say there's 3 tough battle games throughout the regular season slate in the conference. Outside of that, you could see the Bombers, roll into a win streak, and that's what they've been able to show in the conference. Start off very hot, stay hot into the month of February, and we'll see how they fare against Skidmore, but very strong weekend here. 2 games they knew they should win and have to win, and they did it with ease as the game went on.
They had a 16-game win streak last year in conference play, a 20-game win streak that went all the way into the NCAA tournament the year prior. Bombers are just getting started on the season. Whole lot of basketball left. Next time we will be with you is on Tuesday when RIT rolls into town. Tip-off at 5:30 here on Bomber Sports. For Cam Manna, I'm Eli Fishman saying so long, and thank you for tuning in.